Oh, is there a Q&A? Joking over everything. Okay, guess I need that back. No questions? Okay, Dale.
You changed your name. Did that have anything to do with what's happened to you, your background, and so forth?
Actually, my real name is Zushka. I'm 100% Czech. My family changed my name to Susan. It's the American version of Zushka. So they wanted me, I was the first Americanized in my family. So I wasn't allowed to speak the language or eat the food or wear the clothing. I was American, so they changed my name to Susan. Don?
Is there any one thing or maybe a couple of things that really stand out the most in terms of what you've gained from this whole experience and what you're presenting here tonight?
What I've gained from speaking here tonight?
Well, no, I mean the journey of self-discovery and so forth that you've been on.
It's really emotional because statistics show that I shouldn't be alive. Because of the childhood abuse that I went through, there's a permanent brain injury in my head, and it's not going to get any better. There's nothing they can do about it. So I live each day one moment at a time, one day at a time. I don't know if I have tomorrow. So that's the biggest thing I've gotten out of this, is that I'm not in control. And I appreciate and I'm grateful every single morning that I wake up. I'm grateful for the sunrise and everything I have and for all you people. And especially Jerry.
Is it only Angie that you learned something from in your photography? Or was there...
Oh, Abby. Abby was, yeah, she was the first one. Yeah. I've taken a lot of pictures of a lot of people. And they're pretty. And landscapes and things. But yeah, this was like, this was something higher than me that came through. And for her. There was no doubt it was not a coincidence that she found me to do a shoot and that it happened this way. You can call it God or the universe or whatever it is. That was definitely something bigger than us.
Will
Yes.
that be published in a book, like, the photographs and the story of that?
I'm putting some of the photographs up in my studio in Jerome. It's a gallery. It's at the old high school. And we'll be doing a show with Abby there. So yeah, we'll be doing that first, and then I don't know where else it'll go.
Do you know when that'll be? So,
What month are we in? June? So it'll be July.
first Saturday?
No, probably second Saturday. Yes?
Some people might find those images disturbing. What would you say to them in terms of how they can find something that would make something positive out of being disturbed?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I look at the photos, they are disturbing, actually. I wanted them to be disturbing and shocking because it's about abuse. But they're a form of art. When I see something like nudity, I don't see something dirty. So when I see Abby's photos, when you look into her eyes, it just resonates with you that this is more than just a photo. So I don't see it as being vulgar. I don't know how to explain that any other way, other than it's art. Yeah. Yes?
Sue, there are many of us here who have had very fortunate lives and we have not been abused. How can we reach out to young people or people our age who have been abused and help them through their journey? That's
a really good idea. I'm not an advocate for something like that. I just looked up statistics today, so I could tell you today. When looking back on my own life, my second grade teacher was amazing. She can tell from looking at me that I was abused. She pulled me aside one day and asked me if my mother drank. And I said, yeah. That was the first time someone asked me that. I was so little, I didn't know that drinking was a bad thing. She noticed that my clothes sometimes didn't match, that I fall asleep in class. And she gave me, for Christmas, a gift, and it was a book, and it was blank. It was a journal. I remember opening it up and I said, what is this? And she said, you can write and draw anything you want in there and no one will ever see it. It's just for you. And that's what sparked my writing. That was at 7 years old and I haven't stopped. But That's the only thing I know in my own personal experience was that teacher that helped a lot, that she actually cared enough to talk to me. But how do you recognize that in a classroom? I don't know. Cheryl?
That you mentioned that, you know that educators are required to report any suspicion of abuse. How would you have reacted if that teacher had reported and, you know, when you report, you never know where it's going, honestly. But if they would have followed through and your parents had been contacted and...
Well, what she did was she called my mother and told her what I said. And so when I got home from school that day, I got beat badly. And my mother said, we do not talk about what goes on in this house. So that's what happened in my experience. I don't know what would have happened if the authorities stepped in and took me out of that house. I don't know. That's an interesting...
Do you have a feeling
about that process?
Something like that happening?
When I was a child? Or-
No, now.
Oh.
Everything that you know and you've experienced, etc.
Yeah, actually I knew someone that was abusing their children, and I called Child Protective Services. Nothing was done the first time, but I kept calling, and something actually was done eventually. But I don't understand how that whole process works. Yes?
Where will this go? Are you gonna put this on YouTube, or are you gonna do in the TED Talk realm? Or
Yeah, this will be on YouTube.
see this?
Yeah, this will be on YouTube. It'll be on my website. And actually my business cards are on every table. There's a QR code. All you gotta do is put your phone on camera and just hover over that QR code and it'll take you right to my website. And there's a lot of stuff on there. So yes, the YouTube video will be on my website. It'll be on social media if you follow me there. And there are TEDx talks coming up, yes. This is like a practice right now.
I was actually going to ask that, but now that you've said that, maybe you could explain a little bit more for people who, like, I didn't understand about when you say hover over it, they don't have to do anything, it just comes up on their screen, on their phone.
Right.
And that's your website address, so they don't have to explain that.
Okay. So on the card, there's a QR code. So you take your phone and hit camera. You don't have to take...
It's like that barcode.
Yeah. So you don't have to take a picture of it. You just point your phone at that symbol on the card and my website will come up. There was something that you have to just touch on your phone and it'll come up. Yes?
Would you ever consider guest speaking for social workers? I used to work at the Child Crisis Center in Mesa, so I was around a lot of children that were abused, and I know that an in-service talk like this might be good for some younger children.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely open to that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Child help is really big in Scottsdale.
Okay, yeah. I know the Valley. I will definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good thing, because there are children that live in group homes
Mm-hmm.
with these facilities.
Okay, that sounds great. Keep me in mind. You can contact me on my website. Click on the little mail envelope, and you can send me an email.
Okay.
Yes.
Do very many boys develop anorexia? I've never been close to these.
That's really interesting. So when I was blogging about anorexia and body dysmorphic disorder, there was a lot of women from around the world that emailed me, but there were some men. And I did not know that. And they're not models. They're just regular guys who are starving or purging or whatever, obsessed with fitness because of their bodies. Yeah, that does happen. I think the statistics show that there's more women that have that eating disorder problem, but yes, there are guys too. Yes?
What are some of the books you've read?
The first book I wrote was called God Knocked Me Off My Bike. I was in a terrible bicycle accident and it was a wake-up call. The second book I wrote is called The Secret Butterfly Trail. And actually my editor is here today, right there, Jim. And that book is something I'm really proud of. So in 2009, I lost my house to foreclosure down in the valley in Phoenix. I lost my job, my car. I had nothing. So I went to Michigan to go live with my son, of all places. I went to Michigan because I had nowhere to go. I got on a bicycle and rode for 28 days without a phone, without a computer, just a backpack and a journal. 28 days.
Rolled your bike to Michigan?
No, I rode it in Michigan on the bike trails. No, that's that way. I did a lot of screaming at God. I was upset. I was mad and journaled. And then my ex-husband committed suicide. And I had to come back to Arizona for his funeral. And then I had to take his ashes back home to Connecticut where we grew up. So in 9 months, I lost absolutely everything, including him. Had to go to a place I'd never wanted to go back to. And what happened there was really profound. And so you'll have to get the book to find that out. Full circle.
So where do you get your strength from, your courage? What do you draw on?
Well, that's a really good.
To come up, I mean, it takes a lot of courage, I think.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is not easy for me. I've done some public speaking. I worked for a police department a long time ago where I had to get up and speak in front of people. The 12-step program I belong to, I go to conventions and talk in front of thousands of people. Nothing's prepared. I just get up and talk. I don't even know what comes out of my mouth, but it helps people, so I do that. When was this? Over the winter in my studio in Jerome. I had the door open because I was selling art, and 7 Canadians walked in. This sounds so funny. It sounds like a joke. 7 Canadians walked into my studio, and I started talking about my book because it's for sale there. And I started talking about my life, and just everything started to come out. And they were there for an hour listening to me. And they said, "Do you do motivational speaking?" And I said, "No, but that's a good idea." And that's when I contacted Sergio. I thought it was a good idea. I might as well try it. I will try anything. I like getting out of my comfort zone. I don't like being in a box all the time. And so I will try just about anything. And yeah, and I draw on, okay, so every morning I get up, I sit on the floor, I meditate. The first thing that comes out of my mouth is, I surrender, whatever's up there. I surrender, I'm not in control, show me what to do. And take care of me. And it works. It's amazing. We're not in control of anything. I'm fed every day. I have a roof over my head. I have a car. Yeah, that's where I draw a lot of inspiration, is from that. Yes?
So this was the one and only experience you had with photography, doing this type of therapy? It was almost a type of therapy?
It was like a type of therapy, yeah. Yeah.
You offered it to anyone else, or?
Just the one woman that approached me that was a former heroin addict. She came to me, and but no, I haven't advertised that or anything. It seems to be a niche now, which is really cool. But my first modeling experience was 5 years ago. I lived here in Sedona. There was a photographer who was a friend of mine. She asked me to come over to her house. I was not a model. I don't know what she wanted. She got some new lighting equipment. She wanted to test it out, so I was a guinea pig. I'm a belly dancer, so I put on my belly dance stuff and danced in her backyard, and she took pictures. When she showed me the pictures, this is fascinating because this is my therapy. I didn't know what I looked like, because when I look in a mirror, I don't see what you all see. So when I saw the pictures, I started to cry. And I told her, this is the first time I've actually seen myself. Are you sure this is me? I didn't believe her, even though I just saw her take the picture. So I started journaling about that when I got back. And this is why I model, is for that experience of therapy. So I have been the model that has experienced the therapy. And now it's cool that I get to give that back to some other people.
Sue, we're so happy to have you with us, and we wish you Godspeed in all you do. This has been so inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks for letting me do this.
No, thank you for coming. It takes a heck of a lot of courage to get up there and
Thanks.
talk about what you did. Your
Yeah,
hands
I
are
know.
freezing.
Oh, you were
Thank
so
you.
awesome. Thank you for being in Sedona.
Thank you for coming here and doing this. I'm sorry you could show your
It's okay.
pictures.